Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the best of episode of the Unofficial Official Story. Hey everyone, I'm Jennifer.
I'm Dwayne.
And I am Koji.
And we're going to be looking back at our favorite moments from season 2. Oh my gosh, can you guys believe that we've done 2 seasons already?
It's crazy. 2 seasons is a lot.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it was just 2.5 seasons. I don't know. No, it was great, and it's going by pretty fast. And we've had a lot of great guests, great moments, and a ton of things I didn't know about.
All right. And we started this like during the lockdown, remember? I don't know if we ever talked about this, but why did we start the show? Like, why do we do this every month? What keeps all of us going?
Well, there's so many answers, but if it had to be one word, I'd say Koji. He's our fearless leader. And I think we started it because conspiracies are a thing, and it's just good to be a different kind of voice and a different kind of vibe in this sphere of information or disinformation that's flying around. And so we're just having our little fun with it. And it's actually been more fun than I even could have imagined.
Jennifer?
Well, I know Koji and I were shooting sort of like ideas about a new podcast, and I was curious to stay in the podcast world because I think podcasting is cool. So I know it kind of started there, and I do it because I call it my brain food, and I'm surrounded by smart people like you guys and all of our guests. And so I just want to be smarter and expand my mind. So that's why I'm still here.
Right. Nice.
And for me, I love the paranormal conspiracies and all that stuff. This is something that I've always wanted to do. So what drives me all the time is just my love for doing the research and finding out stuff, especially when I don't know things. Like I didn't know what an industry plant was, for example. I never heard of that. I knew that Clinton had killed Kobe, but I didn't understand why.
Right.
And so now I know I have all this information.
That's great.
All right, so let's get into this. Let's talk about some of our highlights from season 2. Like whatever our favorite moments and episodes.
My favorite moment is from episode 5, where we talked about BDE, big dick energy.
Yes.
And I had because I'd never heard of it.
You'd never heard of it before the show?
No, I never heard of it. I'm not around people who talk about it, apparently.
Right. When you got it, you don't got to talk about it now. It's good that you learned that. I mean, I don't know how it helps you in your regular life, but
well, now it puts words to what I do naturally.
Right.
So now it's nice when you have words to describe yourself in ways that you couldn't describe yourself before.
Before you were just calling it a je ne sais quoi, and now you actually have
right.
Yeah.
Right. There you go.
I call it big pimping.
Let's listen to this clip from episode 5. Is Prince Charles a vampire? With comedian Kat C.
Prince Charles is not a vampire because, in my opinion, vampires are sexy. Mm-hmm. And I have never known a vampire in literature or movies. And even, remember I talked about last week how I had a friend that claimed he was a vampire?
Is he good looking?
He's not, but he has a...
Follow-up question.
Energy.
Does he listen to this podcast?
Oh my God, I got to backtrack my steps. I hope he doesn't listen to this yet because that'd be mean because he's such a nice guy, but he's got a good energy. He's got a real good charm,
right.
Charisma. So I think, because you don't have to be good looking to be sexy. I've known people that looked like they just look like animals and
that's what I tell myself all the time, Jennifer.
Really? Yeah, there you go.
Just kidding.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. Like, it's like that song, big dick energy. It's like, it's just like it's
There's
an
a song
energy
called,
thing.
wait. Sorry. I haven't listened to hip hop since Pac died. So.
Right? That song.
Tell me about this song. What is this?
Yeah. Well, back up. The term, I think it was it Ariana Grande or Selena Gomez? Someone who dated Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson from SNL. After they broke up, said, because I guess someone was saying he's not a looker, and this girl said he has big dick energy, and that's kind of became a thing.
He 100% does.
What does that mean?
It means
It's confidence, I guess.
Yeah, it's confidence. You don't have to. I'll tell you from personal experience, you don't actually have to have a big dick, and you can act like it. And meaning, like, you're not saying that is the definition of manhood in any way, but it just has to do with like charisma, personality, confidence, swagger, even. So that's what I mean by sexy. Because I've definitely dated, I'm sure you've been through it too, Kat, where you've dated someone that's not very empirically good looking, but sexy as hell. So that's what I mean is Prince Charles is not sexy to me.
And he doesn't have BDE. I mean, I've had so many really, favorite fun moments. I mean, overarching thing is having friends on and really great, smart people on. Tess Rafferty, Ruben Paul, Vin Glebe, like my comedian friends, and all the others as well. But one thing that I didn't need to know, but it was cool to find out, but I also didn't need to know it, is that I guess Ben Glebe calls his erection Whitey Bulger. And it's a great name, but not something that I needed to know necessarily, you know?
Let's listen to this clip from episode 4. What kind of alien is Elon Musk with Ben Glebe?
Like Whitey Ford, right? Like Whitey Ford.
Yankees pitcher?
No, not Whitey Bulger. Excuse me, Whitey Bulger. Not Whitey Ford. Okay. Whitey Bulger.
All of us Whiteys are the same in Dwayne's eyes. I get it.
I was like, the Yankee pitcher?
No.
As you can see here, a picture of Whitey Ford and Whitey Bulger. We'll put it in the show notes. Whitey Ford, Whitey Bulger. Are they the same? Looks unmistakable to me. I'm Dwayne Perkins, and I don't see color.
Whitey Bulger is what I would say. He got caught in Santa Monica.
That's, by the way, what I refer to my erections as.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, right.
Yeah. Whitey
Bulger. That's a good name.
Have you seen my Whitey Bulger?
Oh, boy. That's really good. Oh, man. I couldn't call mine that. But anyway, so well, you could.
I don't know if you got a vitiligo situation going on Michael Jackson
that's
style.
True. Yeah. If I did have vitiligo, if that's how you say it, that would be a good way to break it to someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My penis is white. Do you think it matches? Just take a look.
Look at my Whitey Bulger.
All right. My favorite moment actually is, it just makes me laugh out loud so much, is the moment when it was, I think it's the episode where the Eastern Airlines episode, which was number 9. That's the one when, Koji, you were talking about like the Mandela effect and how you swear that there was a movie.
There was.
Sinbad.
There was a movie.
Wait, what is it that Sinbad was a genie?
Oh, like, because
Sinbad played Shazam, or what is that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I agreed with you, because there's Kazam or whatever that Shaq played. But I do think Sinbad was in a Sinbad movie
called
Shazam.
Yes.
Yes.
I completely have that same memory.
I remember seeing this movie.
I have that memory.
Funny.
I was just listening to a whole theory recently about how, I don't even remember how to pronounce the word, the collider thing, the big collider thing that they do in Europe. Like
it's like the atoms and
it
starts spinning atoms.
Yeah, it goes really fast. And they say that since then the world's like split. All the different things split, and that's why that's why some people remember some stuff that didn't happen. Yeah, so there's another world where I don't have BD. So that's why some people think that I don't. But that's only because they remember a world that doesn't exist right now.
Let's listen to this clip from episode 9. What happened to Eastern Airlines Flight 401 with Jocelyn Rocky and Lloyd Waller?
So my theory is this. So you guys have all heard of the Mandela effect, right? That's where we're like all kind of believe that we've, like, for example, like what's a good one? Like, the original one is Mandela died in the 90s, but then he obviously didn't die, but we all remember that he did die, right? And to me, the best explanation of that is it was just a different timeline, right? It became a new timeline, and sometimes the timelines cross and sometimes they get all mixed up. And that's why like Bernstein Bears is another one, right? Where we think it was spelled a certain way. Or I swear Shaq was in a movie called Shazam, right? Or no, not Shaq. Sinbad was Shazam, right?
Okay.
I swear I saw that movie.
No. Okay.
So that's just where we got crossed, right? So
you're saying Sinbad was not in a movie called Shazam?
Oh my gosh, no, he was not.
No, he was not in it. Allegedly. But in the timeline I was in, it actually happened. Yeah.
No,
it actually happened.
No, he's absolutely in a movie where he's a genie. So I don't know.
No.
Well, we were in the same timeline, Koji, because I remember that.
What's the favorite theory we've come up with?
We might even have the same theories, but I really like the Cardi B stripper one. The fact that
Zells.
The fact that the stripping industry decided that they were going to sort of normalize themselves and went through this arduous process of putting making sure a famous rapper is associated with stripping. Then having stripping classes, and to the point where you flash ahead from like 30 years ago, now it's so cool to be a stripper kind of. And soccer moms are taking stripper classes. I thought that was really, really wild. And to me, it's like, if you look at the cranberry industry, right? Cranberries were like, we're not moving units. We need to attach ourselves to a holiday. So boom, they got Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Candy corn. We're going to take Easter. You know what I mean? So
isn't candy corn Halloween?
I meant to say Halloween. Yeah. Colored eggs are Easter. I'm sorry. I meant to say Halloween. So basically, I just love that you basically attach yourself to something, and then now you're a thing, and you're a thing forever, And the fact that stripping attach themselves to the music, it's like you almost have to go to a strip club to even hear rap music the right way. Like current rap music is made for strip clubs, so it's all like sort of like works together in unison. There's some kind of synergy there, I think. Yeah.
Let's listen to this clip from episode 10. Is Cardi B an industry plant with A. Zell Williams?
I have listened to a lot of Cardi B for the past 48-ish hours and done some research. And I actually do think she's an industry plant, but not music. I think she's a stripper plant. Because think about it. I started thinking about this the other day. When we were 2000 tap-ins, strippers are like the background in The Sopranos. Chris Rock has jokes about clear heels. Everybody's hating on strippers, right? And then what happens? All of a sudden, you have classes where it's like you're working out, and so we get like rich white people going.
J-Lo's doing movies,
and it's like, well, that's not enough people.
Yes, right.
J-Lo's doing movies about strippers, and then all of a sudden, they're like, look at this Black Latina lady in New York. She's loud, she's proud, she's out there. She's gonna get way more people into this. And now look where we are. 20 years later, nobody's talking about clear hairs as a thing. It's like, it's part of like sexual identity. So thank you to the strip clubs of America for giving us Cardi B.
So she's an industry plant for strippers.
My favorite theory is the one I came up with, which is that Tupac was Japanese.
Of course.
I mean, just because I think I offended our guest, but he also chose mine.
Right. Right. Was that Ruben?
It was Ruben, yeah.
I think, I mean, you mean current, not Japanese in the past life, like Japanese in this life.
Yeah, in this life. Yes, he was Japanese in this life. Yeah,
that's completely possible. maybe partly Japanese.
Well, maybe it's because I wanted it.
Right.
I wanted to name my son Tupac, and that was the closest thing I could get to that. Right. Although, did I tell you guys in my son's class there's a Axel who's white, there's a Coltrane who's Asian. And it would have been awesome if there was a Tupac who was Asian. I mean, that would have just been like the music industry coming together and making peace with all the different genres.
Right. Coltrane is nice. Yeah.
Coltrane's actually a good name.
That is a great name.
But Tupac would have been better. I'm just saying.
Let's listen to this clip from episode 6. Who Killed Tupac with comedian Ruben Paul.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so here's mine. So first, let me just say he's probably, I agree, he's probably not alive because he was very vocal. He was the kind of guy that he couldn't keep his mouth shut. I mean, that's probably got him in trouble sometimes. So it'd be hard for him to stay quiet. But this is my theory. Ready? So it started when he was a child.
Okay.
He was actually Japanese, and he wanted to be cool. So he started wearing blackface.
Can I just stop you 1 second? So Tupac is Japanese, but Cambodians aren't Asian.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, go.
But he was being picked on because he was Japanese.
There were so many like wonderful theories and aspects about theories that I loved. It was hard for me to pick, but the one that kind of sticks out is the Weekend at Bernie's one that Dwayne came up with for the President Biden robot episode. Right. That he's actually dead. He died, I think it was right before the election or something.
Right.
And he's staying alive like Weekend at Bernie style, because that movie was so funny, and that idea that, he's being held up by, you said, I think, magnets, not strings. And, this whole time he's been puppeted by that. I think that was really funny.
I like that. And the fact that there's so much vitriol against him, some people have. And it's like, you're just hating on a dead guy.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Let's listen to this clip from episode 8. Is Joe Biden a robot with performer and writer Christina Wong?
But you're in the wrong. But because you're going down the wrong sort of option there's nothing there. You'll never find anything. And you think you're going crazy. It's just you're looking the wrong way. So is there something afoot? Yes, there is. Here's what it is. And they kept talking about this. They all thought, Joe Biden is going to die. Kamala Harris is going to hop in.
Right.
He did die. No. What we're saying is this is a Weekend at Bernie's situation.
Yes! I did that. Wait. Oh my God. So if it's Weekend at Bernie's, that means that's actually his body up there.
What's one thing that we learned or wished we didn't? Well, for me was the Adrienne Barrett episode, the missing 411, the national parks, the hikers going missing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't know about that, and I consider myself somebody that loves going to those kinds of places, and I didn't realize that there was this issue of people missing on federal lands. And, the fact that she even being a true crime, what is it called? Armchair detective. She even thinks, for example, the Gabby Petito was not murdered by her fiance, Brian, right? So that was new for me, and it was adjacent to stuff that I'm passionate about. So yeah, I'm still quite curious about that topic, actually.
Let's listen to this clip from episode 7, Why is Bigfoot Kidnapping Hikers, with podcaster Adrian Barrett.
That's another thing. I'm like, with Gabby's case, and it's a terrible, I mean, a lot of people come at me for this. I don't think Brian did it.
What? No.
What?
Really?
Did he admit to it in his diary? I don't know, though. I mean, I haven't followed the case a lot.
Apparently, in the note where they found him, he apparently wrote a confession. But his parents are the ones that found him and found the note when they claimed that police already searched the area and didn't find anything previously.
So who did it?
I think that it might have been his parents.
Oh,
But I don't think that it was him. Like, a lot of the stuff going on, I was like, okay, that doesn't seem like that. Or it's either like his parents or that killed actually her is possibly even a serial killer that's out there. Because, like I said, I've done all these other cases too that are around Gabby around that time. Some of them are up in that area. And there is 6 people around that area around that time that no one talks about that have all gone missing. And some have been found and some have not around the same exact time.
We should say it was Bigfoot.
It was Bigfoot.
Yes, Bigfoot.
Mine was from episode 4 when Jennifer said that she thought that Elon would be fun to date. I don't have that reaction at all. I think he'd be a terrible person to date.
Really?
He'd be like the worst person to date. He's like super unpleasant. This sounds terrible, but when you get thrown downstairs and bullied by other kids, typically you're unpleasant.
Well, that's a really interesting thing you just said, because there is this thing of like anyone who has some sort of ailment, we always forget that you can have an ailment and still be an asshole.
Yes.
Like every girl has, befriended a guy who's a little fat and you feel bad for him. And then you like get to know him and he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you can be in a wheelchair and be an asshole. So like, yeah, the fact that he was bullied, it's like he didn't deserve to be thrown down the stairs.
Of course not. Yeah.
But did someone just throw him down the stairs for no reason? Maybe.
A lot of times it's there's something about some people who just drive people crazy.
Interesting.
And you see from his tweets or whatever he's doing. It's all, I mean, he pushes people's buttons and he enjoys pushing people's buttons.
Right. But also I think that, and I've always thought this, I don't think karma is linear. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you pay for things you haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right.
So he was punished before for Twitter.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're gonna be this billionaire kind of unpleasant dude, and then it becomes like every time travel movie, like what came first? Like the guy comes back in time to save Sarah O'Connor, but he's the father of the leader of the rebellion. But how could he be his father? That kind of thing. So it's like you could say Elon was fueled by being bullied, and that's why he became a great guy, great guy, but such a successful person.
Ambitious and successful, yeah.
But maybe he was successful first, and then that caused him to be bullied.
Although also, when you have a lot of money or when you get a lot of money, it typically just whatever personality trait you had just makes it 100 times more. So if you were an asshole, then you're even a bigger asshole.
Right. But for Jennifer, though, you said he had a wild streak. And he is a smart guy. So it's one of these things where, like, it's like, as much as I know you're probably a big Kobe fan, right?
No, not huge, but okay.
Oh, okay. Kobe was a great player, but he's like this facsimile of Jordan. But he's the closest anyone's ever come, but he's still not quite Jordan. But being the closest facsimile of Michael Jordan is still, it puts you in rare air, right? Like, that's amazing. So I think for Elon, he probably learned how to be that cool guy, learned how to be good and bad, because he's smart. Like Will Smith has that thing too, where there's a part of talent that is mimicking, and he's probably a good mimic. So for you and I, maybe, we were just looking at the unpleasant side of it. But for a woman, it's like he's faking being like this cool party animal guy, but he's faking it so well that if you can't really tell the difference.
He's terrible. He's terrible in bed, by the way.
Do we know that?
No, I
guess that.
I think that, like you said, I think he's learned how to be good in bed.
Well, when you have $1 billion, you're great in bed.
No, that's what I would think, but I'll tell you the answer to that is no.
But see, you don't have to be good in bed because a woman will pretend.
That's what I mean. Well, it's like I tell my son, if he makes the major leagues, all of a sudden he's a great dancer.
Right.
It doesn't matter how he dances.
Right.
But the thing is, what if he's a type of guy who doesn't want people to pretend? So he would bring in the best people who are good at sex and teach them. He has that kind of money.
Yeah, you can
that kind of ego, that kind of time.
He can do
Or
any of
he's
that.
like, I'm really good in bed because everyone's telling me I'm good in bed.
Right.
Right. Well, it's like if I became famous and all the things I have an inkling to do, if I could now do all of them, I would have to be somewhat good at all of them.
Yeah, but you're different.
Right.
I don't think other people care about that.
Maybe not. Elon, two of us think you're good in bed, and I don't know. I don't know if one wants to find out.
I mean, Elon's got to prove it to me.
Let's listen to another clip from episode 4. What kind of alien is Elon Musk with Ben Glebe?
Elon Musk, I hope he listens to this episode.
I'll make sure and give him your number so you have 3 billionaires on your job.
Hook it up. No, he's in a relationship, but I actually always thought he'd be kind of fun to date.
You really think that?
Oh yeah, because he's got a little wild streak, and that's what I like.
But you also said you didn't think he'd be good in bed. So what is just the wildness? You want someone you can just go partying with?
I just know, like, my experience from the playing field is that when they're like that, they aren't as good as in bed. But he has that he's a little more hip, so I feel like maybe he's learned along the way. So I'm hoping for better.
Enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's listening.
And if just for the record, I decided to get good in bed first, then get my billion. So just that's my strategy. So when I'm a billionaire, I wouldn't have to learn. So
I decided to do neither, but talk a game like I have both. Oops.
I love the theory about the government going back and doing sort of like changing timelines, that whole thing, which kind of feeds the Mandela effect. And it was I felt like there was and I think there's some credibility to that. And I think that's something I didn't need to know, but it has to be true. And we live in a world where, especially our country, like the greed is sort of unparalleled and it's not controllable. So greed will eventually lead to trying to change past outcomes. And that makes me sad. Like, that means even your past wins can be turned into losses. And I think that's probably a thing that's people are trying to do.
Dude. Sad. It's a mad world.
Right.
Let's listen to another clip from episode 9. What happened to Eastern Airlines Flight 401 with Jocelyn, Rocky, and Lloyd Waller?
Yeah, I'm the same. I really enjoyed everyone's theory. Like, I like the alternate timelines. I like the trickery with the guy in the mask, the Scooby-Doo villain. I love the holograms. Yeah, I would say Lloyd's as well. The thing is, when you think of government, especially the superpowers, and they don't want to lose, right? So not only are they fighting present wars and current and future wars, they're fighting past wars, right? Because they would love to go back and rewrite what happened if they lost. I'm sure someone in Germany is like, we could have won World War II. Let's go back and figure it out. So I just love that. I love that theory. I love it.
Here are some other clips from some of our other favorite moments from season 2. This clip is from episode 1. Will Donald Trump make John F. Kennedy Jr. his vice president when he's reinstated as the 19th president of the United States of America, with Steve Hofstetter?
Firsthand, and he decided to get off the grid by faking his own death. I don't know. It's just the plot of every movie mashed together. You know what I mean?
Do you think that they went to a movie theater, saw a bunch of previews, and thought it was one movie?
Right.
They're like, I don't quite follow the plot, but this is exciting.
Right. That's funny. It's like, why was that movie only 20 minutes long? Oh, well.
Yeah. And why did it have an ad for popcorn in the middle? It's weird.
This clip is from episode 2. Are the gray aliens the best because they're Asian? With Aiden Park.
We multiply. So when we give birth, here's another fact. When we give birth, we lay eggs. That's why there's so many Chinese and so many other groups of people, because we hundreds of eggs.
This clip is from episode 3. Was Britney Spears a government agent for President George W. Bush? With podcaster Will Rodriguez.
The scariest thing about it is that it's real, that it was an actual program, and it could explain so much. It could explain everything that we've just experienced over the last 4 decades or wherever long it's been. It's sad, dude.
Yeah. And it makes you think, why? I don't know. I think guys who get caught doing crazy things, I'm talking about just personal life, like guys who get caught, messing around dear lady, I would tap into that MK Ultra excuse a little bit, you know, just what happened? Who is this? You know.
But most of all, we wanted to thank our listeners. Our podcast has truly grown beyond our wildest imaginations, like in the last 2 seasons. And so we're so humbled. We're thankful that all of you spend your time listening to us. And we're grateful for the reviews that you guys have been putting out there on Apple Podcasts. So please keep them coming. And here are actually some of the messages you guys have left us.
Brain Jr. in December, he said, I'm a big fan of this podcast, especially Dwayne Perkins. Listen to this podcast. There are some funniest and most interesting moments. Enjoyed the Unofficial Official Story. So we have a fan.
Oh, very nice.
Brain's a fan of you, Dwayne.
Oh, thanks, Brain. You have a big brain. You made a good choice. Thank you so much.
Tabachinol in late January. Great podcast. Thanks for hours of entertainment in my car and on walks. They're perfect and super interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's exactly. I mean, both of those reviews, but that's exactly what you hope is happening.
I prefer some naked listeners. Maybe somebody taking a bath.
Well, I like, my thing is I've been not struggling, but just having this constant thought. Like, I want to provide entertainment, maybe information, but I don't want to be a distraction. Because I think the line between entertainment and distraction is now blurred, and everyone's fighting for your eyes. And so you're being sent notifications. I don't want to think that like someone's like consuming what I put out there to the detriment of what else they have going on.
Oh, that's a great
right?
point.
And so if he's like driving, walking, he's incorporating that into his life or her life. And I like that.
Or their
life. Yeah. Yes. I love that. And it's sort of like we're adding but not taking away.
Okay, so here's one review from Iabel Cobby. They say, thanks. I loved this podcast and quick take on this entertainment. It was a fun, quick listen, and I hope they'll do more stories like this in the future with 4 hearts. Thank you so much, Iabel. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. We appreciate your kind words. Ia Cunado says, I'm hooked. I accidentally stumbled across this podcast and I'm hooked. Yay!
This is short and sweet. Haberzetti? Hey, Brazetto. No, because I think that I is I thought that was an L, but I think it's an L. I thought it was an I, but it's L. Yeah, Hey Brazetto. I'm saying it different ways, but anyway, 5 stars. One of the best podcasts I have listened to, and it's great as always. I like that.
Be sure to subscribe to our show anywhere you usually listen to your podcasts. Visit our website, unofficialofficialstory.com, to listen to any of our past episodes. And if you're not following us on our socials, you're missing out on even more great content. So make sure you find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And finally, be sure to come back as we kick off season 3 in April. We're going to find out the answer to the question, is the world flat, hollow, or sucked into a black hole?
Can it be all 3? Is that possible?
Well, yeah, it can be hollow. It's just how far do you have to go?
Flat, hollow, and it's already been sucked into a black hole.
Can be flat and hollow?
That's like my soul.
Right. Sucked into a black hole, yeah, definitely.
All right, guys.